Well, I've made lots of connections. In fact, as I said, I am the only sore thumb sticking out in this process here because I'm non-professional in the field where everybody else is a professional. And my great hope is, especially after my talk this morning, that people will start understanding that the health of the physical environment is critical to the mental and physical health of the humans. Now, this might lead, hopefully, to me being involved in projects, whether it's South Africa or US or whatever, in terms of being devil's advocate, which is in some ways the role I'm performing here, that I'm trying to expose things and all of it is obvious. The perversion of this is such that you don't have to think very hard to come to understand what I'm saying. But nobody thinks this way.
There's really something about being in this incredibly beautiful, magical environment that makes you think, I should really be thinking good things. I should be thinking lofty thoughts. I should be, this is such a fabulous opportunity, and just the history imbued in this place, as Deborah says, is both humbling as well as you feel like if people came here to talk about such intractable problems, there's really hope for us to do better, much, much better than we're doing.
I think there are a number of new ideas that have sort of enriched my knowledge and inspired me to further action. So I think that's always helpful to listen to people who are so passionate and committed, but at the same time quite knowledgeable in how to bring about transformational actions. But specifically what I'm taking away, apart from in terms of a concrete step that we intend to pursue, is to have a gathering of some of the colleagues who are here from South Africa and Brazil at a meeting that we are going to convene in India in mid-March to discuss methods for collaboration on advancing some of the Salzburg agenda.
My mind is spinning because there is so much to absorb. In my job, and I suspect in most people's daily jobs who are here in Salzburg, we don't have that time for reflection and contemplation, and we especially don't have the opportunity to learn from people in other countries and in other sectors. The perspective that I've really appreciated learning from here is the business one, because this is not the world that I come from and not the one that I normally naturally would engage with. But that business perspective and understanding how employers think, what matters to employers, has given me a lot better understanding of how I can approach our collaborations once I return. And I feel 100% confident that I will be putting into action the lessons that I'm learning here in Salzburg. Not clear exactly how, but I am 100% sure, even as I'm on the plane flying back to Baltimore, that I will be putting some of this into practice. And a year from now, ask me again, and I will tell you exactly what has been done and what will be done in our city as a result of this visit.
It's my second time that I've come, and one of the key areas is that there's the inputs that are made. You always learn new things from different counterparts. You also have different views on things that also shape your own views, because you might come with some ideas, it gets shaped by conversations with some other colleagues. So it's the learning, the sharing, and the networking, I think, would constantly be the issues that we take forward from Salzburg.
I think the first thing is we've kind of met the objective of bringing together a very diverse group of people who are looking at this issue from many different perspectives. So that's been really helpful for us. I think there will also be some really sort of valuable lessons that come out of the actual work done here in Salzburg. So I'm sure that, even just kind of for me, it's given me some new insights, it's given me some new perspectives on the work. And I think just what we conclude in the working groups will be useful in its own right. But I think we've seen this as a much more of a longer term investment, really. So what we're hoping from this is that we will be able to start to build ongoing relationships with many of the participants here, so that we've got a resource that we can draw on as we start to develop work in the UK.
We brought both US and participants, and we hope that it strengthened not only their relationships. I think some people knew each other well, some people had just known each other by names, and likewise hoping that our American participants have gotten to know their global counterparts well, and that there are opportunities for those folks to perhaps collaborate, talk to each other, because we are facing similar problems. Every meal, getting to sit next to someone else feels like another story. People have led such incredible, rich lives, and getting to know them both personally and professionally, since 5 days, meals and break times. You get to know them in such a compressed period of time when you're basically living together, as opposed to when you get to know colleagues when you only see them in one dimension. You sort of get to see the whole of a person, and I think that's been really fun.
We feel that in our efforts to build a culture of health, we need to have as wide a partnership as possible. And we certainly do not have all of the solutions to the very thorny problems that we're trying to address through culture of health in the United States. So we really welcome the opportunity to learn from our global neighbors. We also feel that many of us are struggling with the same problems around the world, and we can learn from what works and what doesn't work, not only domestically, but globally, and we can all help each other further along more quickly and to really promote a culture of health. Also, when we talk and learn from people from different countries, it really widens our viewpoints. It enables new thinking for us and for really all of the participants at the seminar, and then for all of those that they later touch. And it's very important also to have as wide a network of expertise and viewpoints as possible. And being here and meeting these people really helps us to develop a global network.